Inside Out 2 is the featured directorial debut of Kelsey Mann, and it comes to us 9 years after the first film. Teenager Riley's mind headquarters is undergoing a sudden demolition to make room for something entirely unexpected. New emotions. Joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust, who've long been running a successful operation, aren't sure how to feel when anxiety shows up, and it looks like she's not alone. But before we get into the rest of the video, I do want to give a special thank you to the sponsor, BetterHelp. Given that this movie is entirely about our emotions and how we repress them and express them, sometimes very angrily and sometimes we hold things back, it's the perfect video to talk about BetterHelp. In today's day and age, a lot of us live very hectic lives. I know I do, so it's been extremely wonderful to be able to turn to something like BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you can go to their site by using my link, betterhelp.com/Chris Stuckmann. You answer a few questions and BetterHelp will match you to a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. You can do it all from your phone or computer, via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. And you'll be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours so you can get started fast. So let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you, all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/Chris Stuckmann or choose my channel name, Chris Stuckmann, during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Chris Stuckmann. That link is in the description below. Please do check that out. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video. Pixar has had some hits and misses over the past 10 years, but Inside Out is definitely one of the better ones. So when a sequel came along, not directed by Pete Docter, just like that original, I think some speculation is healthy, but I'm really glad to say that this movie was actually quite good. One of the best things about the film is the choice to set this movie around Riley's coming of age. She definitely has a lot of things going on inside of her brain, just as all of us did at that point in our life. It's the most turbulent period for so many of us. And since the movie, of course, is told from the perspective largely of the emotions inside Riley's head, this is the greatest time to re-enter into her life. And if you're someone who deals with anxiety, as so many of us do, you're going to see a lot of parallels with how this movie expresses that emotion, how it takes control of Riley's brain, how it thinks it's helping Riley. Anxiety is voiced by Hawke, and this character genuinely believes that she's protecting Riley from situations and helping her maneuver social, especially, situations. While Joy, voiced by Poehler, and all of the previous emotions from the last movie, are trying to figure out what exactly is going on to this beloved person they've been with for all these years. And just like the first movie, I thought this was a really great look at how we can allow some of our negative emotions to control us. How we can look at the world and think, well, that's how everyone views us, or I have to be this type of person today. I have to pretend for this person to like me. All of these things we think about as adults, but clearly Riley is thinking about them quite often too. But just like with some of the better Pixar movies, it's able to explore those complex emotions, but it's able to find quite a bit of humor in the film as well. There's a scene in this movie in a vault where the previous emotions from the last movie find themselves trapped. And there are things there that Riley apparently would like to forget about, including a video game character that was probably inspired in some way by Super Smash. I think I laughed until I cried at this guy. It was very, very funny. But also, there's a little bit for parents in there too, because there's a 2D character here who calls something called Pouchy, this thing that floats in and has all these items that can be used for these characters to help break out of the vault. And if you're a parent and you've had young kids or currently do, like myself, you have probably watched more kid shows with those helpful characters and their items that can solve problems than you care to admit. I myself have memorized so many things over the past almost 3 years now, and that scene was like so real. The film also pulled off kind of a magic trick in that, in a way, our protagonist is Riley, even though the people we're really following are the emotions inside of her head. And Riley keeps making bad decision after bad decision, and we don't look at her and go, I've detached from this character, I don't care about you anymore. We're looking at her with sympathy, which is really tough to do when you have a character that is consistently making choices that we know they shouldn't be making. But you understand exactly where Riley's at in this film. exactly why she's making the choices she's making. And I think it's not just great for adults, but especially kids her age are going to see a lot of themselves in this character. And strangely, I do think that this movie, as well as the first, could be a great therapeutical tool for younger people to watch and be like, okay, so a lot of these scary thoughts that I have aren't entirely stupid. Like, that other people feel that way. It's normal that I'm terrified about all of these things. It goes without saying that Pixar has crafted a beautiful looking movie. Their animation is just absolutely top tier. There are background elements that look photorealistic, trees and plants and things along those lines, where I was like, that's insane, the level of detail. Because I remember popping in that VHS for Toy Story and thinking the blanket on Andy's bed looked like the greatest thing I had ever seen in my life. And here we are, and I'm looking at leaves. Inside Out 2 is a very good movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I do think if you liked Inside Out, you're probably going to find things to enjoy about this. I don't know if it's quite as good. It doesn't have the immediate surprise impact of that first movie, but that's also something that I tend to not really hold against sequels because it feels unfair unless the sequel is literally completely different than the first movie, which is a massive risk that nobody ever wants to take. It's almost impossible to recreate something that actually surprises you because you've already seen a movie in this world. So I don't tend to hold that against sequels, but I think this is a really good movie. I had a good time with it. Do check it out in theaters if you can. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.